Plantar tears. Have you been diagnosed with a plantar tear? Have you had a scan and you know you've got a plantar tear? Do you have significant heel pain and you think you have a plantar tear? Make sure you watch this video. I'm going to tell you what it is, what you can do about it, how you can treat it effectively, and how you can get on with your life. My name is Daniel Fitzpatrick from Sydney Foot Solutions. We see plantar tears all the time here in the clinic. We see lots of them. We see over 100 cases of heel pain a week. Not all of them plantar tears, but as a result, we do see a number of plantar tears, probably a lot more than your average clinic, only because of what we do lots of work in that field. So a plantar tear that I'm referring to is a tearing of your plantar fascial tissues. So your plantar fascia is a bit like a tough piece of glad wrap that runs underneath here, and you get tearing through mainly at the attachment point or somewhere along there. And the reason it happens is because of the way you stand and the way you walk. Plantar tears are a bigger style of tear. So plantar fasciitis is a micro tearing of the plantar fascia, whereas plantar tears are bigger tears within that plantar fascia. They're not as common as plantar fasciitis, but they are the worst case, or the next step up from plantar fasciitis. They can be incredibly painful, incredibly restrictive to activity, and can be very challenging to fix, particularly if they're left. And so the good news is that you can treat these very effectively. We treat them effectively all the time. The common ways that you would treat plantar tears is orthotics, something a bit like this, and that can be very effective because it holds the plantar tear in a better position. We treat it through foot mobilization. So foot mobilization helps to work and improve the function of your foot, so you start to address the underlying cause of why you got the plantar tear. And we also use laser therapy to break up the pain and reduce the inflammatory response and speed up healing. You can also use shockwave. The only downside of shockwave is it actually hurts the patient, but it does help to heal plantar tears. So all of those treatment options are really good options when you consider them. The reality is that if you do have a plantar tear, the good news is not all hope is lost, and you just want to get onto it as soon as possible. If you leave it too long, what you might find is that you have to go into a boot, and a boot is where you basically have to stay in the boot for 6 to 8 weeks to try and get the plantar tear to heal. And the problem with the boot is that you then have to get your function of your foot back afterwards. So if we can avoid it, we always avoid using surgical boots in most cases. We just find for plantar tears, there's other ways we can fix them. And that way we can keep the patient functioning and keep the patient active. We really always try and avoid the need for surgical boots. Another thing to avoid is corticosteroid injections. The problem is corticosteroid injections can make the plantar tear worse. Yes, they will help with the pain in the short term, but they can make it far worse. I know in some cases you have to take corticosteroids and particularly anti-inflammatories as well, but the reality is that you probably want to avoid these and you want to address the underlying cause if you can. If you have a plantar tear and you would like to do something about it, make sure you check out our 60% off initial assessment offer. And the reality is that we can usually effectively treat plantar tears without you being stuck in a boot, without the need for corticosteroids, and without the need for anti-inflammatories. To prove this, I want to share a review of a patient who came to see us with a plantar plate tear. This particular lovely patient left us a review. You can check this on our reviews. And she wrote, I have had great success with Sydney Foot Solutions. They are friendly and knowledgeable. Prior to seeing them, I had many different podiatrists and didn't have any success with my feet pain. I highly recommend Sydney Foot Solutions. And so this particular lovely lady had been to a number of practitioners about her plantar plate tear. I must admit she probably came to see us mainly because we had our lasers. The laser technology is pretty amazing for plantar plate tears and really stimulates and speeds up that healing cycle. What laser does is it breaks up pain, it reduces the inflammatory response, and it speeds up healing, and it gets those fibers to knit back up. So if you have a plantar tear, make sure you check out our website at sydneyfootsolutions.com.au or northernbeacheshealpain.com.au or sydneybunionclinic.com.au. Make sure you check out one of these. We'd love to help you with your plantar plate tear so you can get on with your life, avoid the need for a boot and avoid the need for injections.